Hey everyone, how you doing? Welcome to the channel where it's time for me to take you through the books I'm planning to read in April. So April is a month that I've been looking forward to for a little while because of one thing and one thing only, and that is the end of my SPF B08 reading. It's no secret that I've not had the greatest of times with the finalists of SPF B08, and if I wasn't reading them as part of a commitment to somebody else, I wouldn't have picked up several of these books, and a couple that I did pick up on might have DNF'd, but I have a commitment to read all of these and provide scores for Cassidy's alternate SPF B08 final, and because of that I am sticking to my word and I'm reading them all. But I've got 3 titles left, but there's some good and there's some bad to it, because where a lot of the titles haven't really been to my tastes, there are some that definitely are, that I've been saving to last, and I've got kind of both ends of the scale in my final 3 books that I've scheduled for April. So we'll start with those, and first of all is A Song for the Void by Andrew C. Piazza, which is a cosmic horror. I don't know, if I'm honest, why it's a finalist in a fantasy competition, but it's the one that I'm probably the least looking forward to out of all of the 10 finalists, because it is just so far out of what I want to read. Basically, it's nowhere near my reading tastes, but read it I will, and I will see if I can find out why it's in a fantasy competition and why it's one of the finalists. Then I've got Tethered Spirits by T.A. Hernandez, which a few people who've read this have told me that they think I might enjoy it. It is one of the ones that did sound closest to my normal taste, so fingers crossed it is one that's going to work for me. And again, I'll find out soon if that's the case, but I'm not going into that one with a sense of dread. I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy it. I mean, I hope to enjoy all of the books I read, obviously, but this one in particular, I'm hoping that it is going to match, or at least closely match, my normal reading tastes. And then my final book for the SPF B08 finalists, the one that I'm saving to last because I think it's the finalist that most closely matches my tastes, is The Umbral Storm by Alek Hudson. So again, a few people I know have read this and have moved on to read some of the author's other works because they enjoyed various aspects of what they got here. So with this one as well, I'm hoping that it's going to suit me down to a T and I can at least finish the competition on a high. Alright, so then I've got a couple of other books that I've planned in. First of all is a buddy read, so I'm reading The Expanse with my friend Nina at the moment. We've done book 3 in March, which was Abaddon's Gate, so we're moving on to book 4, Sibylla Burn, in April. I'm really enjoying my time with The Expanse. The books have been really good. It's a good narration. We're listening to these on audiobook, and there's no reason to expect any different with book 4, so at least that's one that I'm definitely looking forward to, because I have been enjoying my space journey, my sci-fi journey through The Expanse. For those who've seen a recent video I did where I read the first chapter of some of the books that are on my reading plan, I did pick out Legacy of Ash by Matthew Ward, which is a big old chonker, but this is the first chapter that I liked the most out of the 5 that I read, and I said I would look to read next, or put onto my priority list, I guess, to read first out of all of the others. So hopefully I'm going to be able to fit this one in. I do have quite a few books this month because there are still some to come as well, and as I say, it is close to 800 pages if my memory serves me correctly, so I might not be able to fit this in. I'll probably leave it towards the end of the month specifically for that person, and maybe for that purpose rather, and maybe overflow it to I forgot for a moment what month comes next. Maybe flow it over to May rather than covering it this month, but we'll see how we go, and it's definitely on there in the plan to hopefully get to in April. I also have an ARC which is due to come into me at some point in the next few weeks. There's no set timescale for it because that's down to the author and there's no pressure on my side, but it is one of my most anticipated titles of the year. This is The Shadow Gate, book 2 in the Dragon Spirits by L.L. McRae. I loved book 1, The Iron Crown, and also The Citrine Key, the kind of prequel novella to this series, and I'm really excited to learn a bit more about all of the different dragon spirits. There are 9 that get mentioned in this second book, if I remember correctly, so lots to experience, lots of new things to uncover, and I'm looking forward to getting back to the characters who I really enjoyed in The Iron Crown as well. And then that leaves me with my TBR job, and I've added a few titles into this one recently as well because I've had some new books come into my possession, and I'm hoping for the jar to treat me well today. Hopefully a shortish book, maybe an audio book, so I've not got as many of those in my list for April, but I could do with a shortish one because I do have some chunky ones on the list for physical reading in April. Is this going to be nice to me? Springtide Harvest. So I've actually already read that one, so that can go. And let's see what else we have. That one was quite a quick read, not too long, so something along those lines would be quite nice. I'm going to be reading The Return of the Knights, which I've not shown off yet, but that's literally the most recent book that I received. Just arrived with me a few days ago, so I did well to pick itself out, or to be picked out of the jar, and that's all the way over on my desk, so I guess I'd best go and get it for you. So yes, this is Return of the Knights, or The Return of the Knights by Gregory Contaxis. As I say, this is the most recent book that I've received, just came in a few days ago, and this is a book that was originally written in Greek. Gregory is an author who lives here in the UK, and he's rewritten, or had translated for him, the book that he wrote, and it is now in English, The Return of the Knights. So I don't know much about this one. Let's have a look. It's a relatively long synopsis, but first of all, I do really like the colours on that cover. It looks pretty cool. It's kind of a standard cover maybe, but the colours really make it pop. The Palace of the Dawn will soon be stormed. The most ruthless man of all time is one step away from assailing on Bridge and dethroning Sophie Delamere. The Queen of Night Dawn is now alone, with neither allies nor an army capable of rebuffing an enemy which is approaching her city. Everything appears to be over until a mysterious young man, Elliot, makes his appearance. Entangled in a web of lies and politics, Elliot will try to draw Walter away from the Umbridge and face him in the stronghold of Wirksworth. He will attempt to rekindle relations and revive the old alliance between the Queen of Nightdawn and Cirilla Endor, the Governor of Wirksworth. Elliot's mission will take every fibre of his will, and if he fails, so shall the kingdom. Game of Thrones meets Greek mythology in this explosive epic fantasy story packed with war, medieval lore, magic, loyalty and bravery. The first book in a series, The Dance of Light, will take you on an epic journey to a fantasy world of men and mythical creatures, which will keep you spellbound until the very end. And I hope it lives up to that, but not too long, so the jar did me all right there. It's a little bit under 400 pages, and it's not crammed into, the text isn't crammed into the pages there as well, so hopefully this one will be a shortish read that I can fit into my April reading. So there we go, that's my April TBR. Once this month is over and I've got my SPFBO reads out of the way, I'll have a little bit more freedom, and I need to really start cracking on to my reading plans for 2023, because they've kind of taken a bit of a backseat whilst I've been reading these, first of all, and all of the arcs that I had in January and moving into February. So looking forward to getting back on top of my reading plans and seeing some of the books that I've been really excited to get to. What's going to come first, I don't know. We will find out soon. Let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking of my April plans. What am I going to enjoy? What am I not going to enjoy? The obvious answers aside. And also, what are you looking forward to reading yourselves? I'm hopefully going to catch you in the next video sometime soon. But until then, as always, take care of yourselves. Read some good books. Bye for now.